just for today?
Only like my calves though.
Don't touch your thighs.
All right, so we're going to get into SLR and some of the nuances of SLR. So remember that the SLR is a nerve tension sign, and we're particularly putting tension on the sciatic nerve as a whole. All right. So when I start this with my patient, I'm going to tell them what I'm going to do up front. Let them know. Let me do all of the work. Okay. If you have any discomfort or pain, numbness, tingling, anything, let me know as soon as possible. Okay. We're going to go really slow and easy. Okay. So just give them some comfort that you're not going to do anything crazy. All right. So first things first. Try to keep the legs straight, don't let it internally or externally rotate, and we're going to start to come up slowly. Now, what did I say in class? The first third of the movement, what's happening? Just taking out slack, exactly. Just taking out slack, okay? Now, this is, you have to make the distinction with hamstring. If they have really tight hamstrings and I start to do this, can they have burning, stinging? Yeah, but it's different. It's going to be broad, okay? If you get burning and stinging from tethering the sciatic, it's going to be very specific, okay? And it tends to run down the back of the thigh and then wraps a little bit to the lateral aspect of the lower leg, and it tends to run down out here along the outside of the foot and can even come down and kind of wrap around the fifth metatarsal head all the way down into the little toe sometimes. Okay?
My little toe feeling it. But I think it's more circulation than where. Told me to tell you if I feel anything.
That's true.
That's
true.
So we're just going to come on up, okay? And generally for an SLR, if you get up to 90, you're done. And if you haven't reproduced anything, I mean, who cares after that point, right? Okay? Because when does the slack pretty much done? About what angle?
5.
30,
Oh, wait.
40.
About 30.
30.
About 30-ish, okay? Because if we break it into thirds, so we got, 33, 33, 33, that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so we know that starting around in here, that we're actually starting to tether and put tension on the nerve, okay? And this is when remember when I said about 12 millimeters of descent of the root out of the foramen happens? That doesn't start happening until about here, okay? And as I get on up into here, when I get up towards 60, that's when it's pretty much topped out, okay? So if you haven't had any reproduction of symptoms or any exacerbation of symptoms, i.e. mostly neurological is what I'm looking for, so numbness, tingling, pins and needles, any burning, that kind of situation, then you're probably not going to. Because up and through here actually starts to counter-nutate the pelvis, and when you start to do that, what happens to the lumbar lordosis?
Decrease.
Right, so if I come up here, it flattens out, right? Okay. So let's say, for example, let's say I get to about here, and she goes, oh no, that's it, okay? I back off just to the point, it's usually around 5 degrees, just to the point the symptoms subside, okay? So when the symptoms subside, then I come back and I do this. This is Bragard's, okay? And I see if they return, okay? So, okay? So, Bragard. So, SLR, back off, Braggards.
What is happening? I'm taking it off.
It's pretty tough.
Sicard.
Okay.
Hard is the big toe on it.
Just the big toe. And you notice how I didn't take Sicard with the Braggards. Okay? So,
So with Bragard, so you actually grab the under the toes.
I grab metatarsals, because that gives me the best leverage of taking that thing out. Okay? So, now, Turyn's.
I apologize, sir. With Sicards, you said you didn't do it with the Braggards, meaning that you didn't back it down 5 degrees?
No.
So
I
you
backed
kept
it, back it down 5 degrees-ish, or till their symptoms subside. And it's dorsiflexion of the toe without dorsiflexion of the foot.
Thanks.
So, as a separate entity.
So you'll take it up, feel the Braggards it'll bother them, and then you're gonna go back 5 degrees, or till the tension's off. And
No,
then
this is
use-
separate from SLR.
Alright.
So, SLR,
Yeah.
back off, oh. Sicard. Okay, so, Braggards, whoa,
I gotcha. I'm with you.
okay. Now, Turyn's. Never had to do a Turyn's, never seen a Turyn's, probably because they couldn't walk in. Okay, and I've had some people with some pretty hot sciatics, but at least they hobbled in. Stop it.
It tickles.
Stop. Turns. So let me ask you something. If that's all it takes to reproduce their symptoms, can you infer severity? And if you can, what would you think? Bad? Not that bad.
Bad. Hella
It's
bad.
gotta be really bad if that's all it takes.
Hella
Okay?
bad.
Because this might be the one where you come in here and they're like, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I haven't taken all the slack out and you're screaming, right? She could have an inner pelvic mass. She could have a fibroid the size of a watermelon.
How does that
Ow.
fit?
How does it fit?
Yeah,
Very tightly.
that makes sense.
It fits to its environment. Okay? Probability very low, possibility. Anything's possible. Okay? So, but I wanted to make that distinction between what a straight SLR is, what your Braggards is, what your Sicards is, and what your Turyn's is. Okay? Now I'm going to do Lasègue.
So all of these are supposed to be performed with the shoe off?
Yeah, you need to have access to the foot.
Okay.
What else do you do? You got
Use
some
the bottom
neuro.
of the shoe.
You got some neuro stuff you're doing down there anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
You know?
sorry.
So
You're
your
good. Just sit
patient
right
should be
here.
barefoot.
I slipped.
You can sit.
Oh,
Okay.
can I?
Let's say.
So this is Lasègue. So we note that with the leg bent, she's able to bring the leg up, the femur up to 90 degrees, no problem, right? So now I hold it here at 90, and then I start to extend and see at what point it reproduces her symptoms or exacerbates her symptoms.
So for that one,
I just use Lasègue as a confirmation of my SLR and the tension that is on the nerve.
Is it like Kernig's?
No, because with Kernig's, what are we looking for?
The shock and...
No, it's more meningitis. With that, more than likely, if I have a viral or bacterial meningitis, she's got a fever, okay? And as I do this, her burning and sensation will be different. It won't be necessarily down the leg, it'll be in the back area. And she will probably start to really push her shoulders and the back of her head into the table as I bring it up, to get away from it, to shorten those, okay? So, the interesting thing about Lasègues is, let's say I did SLR and I got to, I don't know, 45. Okay, I did my Bragards and all that. I'm like, I'm pretty confident it's kind of at that angle. So let's do a Lasègues. This is fine, okay? And I go, ah. Here's your correlate. Okay? So, let's do SLR. Let's do both sides. And do your Bragards, your Sicards, your Turyns, and go ahead and do the 6.